matter how high-tech, highfalutin, lazy, or foo-foo America gets, we will never stop hunting and fishing. This is the Hunting Quest. Hunting Quest. We take 1 hour of every week and talk about our favorite things in the world, hunting and fishing. You'll get tips and help on the fishing environment locally in the DMV area. Plus, we're going to have fun along the way. This is the Hunting Quest. And now your host, Mike Tippin and Bennett Malin.
All right. I think we're live, boys.
I think so. We got a full house today.
Yeah, we do. Why does that look like that? Oh, whatever. We'll roll with it.
I'm good with that.
We'll make it work. How you doing, Mike?
I'm tired, man.
Dude, I am wore out. Oh my God. It's been a hell of a weekend.
Yeah. Well, first, we're not, in the intro says we're doing, local, hunting and fishing, in the DMV area. We're not in the DMV area. We're not even close to the DMV area.
No, we are not.
Kind of cool.
It's been awesome. Cool. So we've been hanging out down in Louisiana with the Planet Trotline guys, YS and Baxter and Forrest. How you guys doing?
Well, great. All right. Doing great.
Good deal. Well, first, y'all were super kind to bring us down here. Let us come down. Let us do this. Tell us about yourself. Obviously, Planet Trotline. Let folks know who you are.
Man, it was our pleasure to have y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an absolute blast. I mean, so much fun to have you all down. We got a lot of alligators, got a lot of fishing in. I mean, it was a great, great time. But so I'm Wes Withrow. I'm one of the actual co-founders of Planet Trotline, right? And I've got my posse here to the right.
Yeah. I think it's great.
So we've been down in Bayou Pigeon, Louisiana, and so for you all who don't know where that is, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's called the End of the World Bayou Pigeon, Louisiana.
And they have a sign
in the Atchafalaya Basin,
right? Oh, okay, yeah.
Biggest swamp in America.
Yep.
Yeah. And and they have a sign that says that too, just in case you forget.
The end of the world.
End of the world.
Yeah. And you all lucked out because normally that sign gets legs. We see it about once a year, and then usually it's gone, and then someone comes back and replaces it.
Starts off with a bullet hole, then about 20 bullet holes,
and then it's gone.
Oh man! So we were able to sit, again, y'all put us up in this absolutely gorgeous place. It has an elevator.
Yes.
It's got an elevator.
Y'all know this entire room is cypress, every bit of it.
So
the wall sconces, the table.
Really?
That's where this came from, right?
Right.
That's kind of how this whole place, really kind of got started, right?
Cypress lumber business. Yeah.
Right. And there's this really cool, railroad, you've got the railroad commissioner and all that stuff, and there's a lot of history to this house.
Oh, yeah.
And this place, so tell us about it. Who wants to go?
It was you want to go?
Yeah, so I'll go, and then you just kind of fill in as well too.
Was it the great great grandfather or great great great?
I think it's either the third or fourth great grandfather,
right,
of our wives.
Right. Who by the way were absolutely fantastic. All three of your wives are amazing. I mean, just absolutely amazing. So we appreciate them as well for having us on, having us down here. But
yeah.
Right, and this land, right? So we talked about the cypress wood,
yeah,
right. So back in the mid late 1800s, when the cypress industry took about, right? That's when our wife's family started a business of doing just the cypress lumbering industry, and so. These lands that we've been hunting today, right, and all the surrounding properties are holdover properties from the cypress lumbering days. So that's why we see all these beautiful cypress trees all around the area. You see these beautiful cypress knees coming up out of the swamp. It's absolutely fantastic.
And I taught you something. They're buskios.
That's right.
That is the first time we've heard that word.
Buskios. And you took us down to Williams Lake, right?
Lake Williams.
Williams. All right.
Yep.
So we go down there, and speaking of trees, there's a tree down there that is, you haven't named it, I guess, but you should.
I think we
All right,
should.
I think we named it our favorite tree.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. This is my favorite tree. When he said that, we're walking up or we're not walking, we're on the boat kind of walking, going through there, and he goes, my favorite tree's coming up here. was like, all right. All right.
What could be so special?
It's a tree.
Right.
Right? All right. Whatever. And then you come around the corner and you're like, oh, my God.
Like, guess which one it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's clear as day as soon as you round that corner and
Yeah.
see it. Because I was thinking the same thing. I'm sitting in the far back of the boat next to Wes, and I'm like, favorite tree? Like, yeah, okay, cool, tree, wow. We come around the corner and see it, and I'm like, whoa, that is a really cool tree. Like,
That's a great
phone
tree
out,
right
taking
there.
videos and pictures of it as we're going past.
Yeah.
And then I look, and everybody else in the boat's doing the exact same thing. Like, all 5 of us are phones up at this tree as we're spinning past it. I'm like, oh, my God, that is insane.
Yeah.
It was cool. I mean, it's got the Spanish moss, everything that like I think of when it comes to the swamp,
Right.
Louisiana swamp. That's it. I mean, and you said it.
It's like a painting of a swamp scene. Back
It
there.
is.
Right.
Yeah.
It is. It's like, and what's funny is, you don't have one on. All right. There's on the back of our shirts, the Hunting Quest shirts. There's a Grim Reaper, and it's in a swamp scene. And
Oh,
if
I
you
thought you
look
were
at
right.
it,
Yeah, I remember that
So
shirt.
it's kind of same setup. It's like
Yeah.
this is pretty cool. I like this. So
That was like when we came through there the first time into Lake Williams, I was like, this looks like the drawing on the back of our shirts.
yeah, that's what he said.
Like,
Yeah.
take a picture of this and put the Grim Reaper out on the boat, and it would be
It'd be perfect.
damn near a photocopy of the back of the shirt. It's awesome back there.
So obviously we get in, we got in there, had a great time. It was, I don't even know how to explain it, just sheer, from looking at it, it's amazing. Right.
Right.
But we came down here to catch alligators.
Yep.
Right. And Benny, Benny's, I think like seen like one alligator before, like
Mhm.
little.
In the wild.
In the
yeah.
wild.
Yeah, wild, maybe 2 or 3 before this weekend.
Right. And how many do you think you saw this weekend, Benny?
Too many.
Yeah.
You gonna go out there and jump in the water? And go
No,
swim?
I 100% know better than to swim anywhere around here.
So all right, so we get in there, and we're here to like catch some alligators, right? All right, how did you get into this? What on earth says, hey, you know what? I think I should get some buddies together and go catch some alligators. How did that happen?
I mean, we've been coming out here, right, for years, right, doing fishing. This piece of property in the center of it's also crawfish ponds.
Yeah.
So, and around it is water. So you think of, we've got the river to my left, we've got Lake Natchez to the right, you got Lake Williams a little bit behind us back there, and we've been, just fanatics for trotline.
Sure,
Right? So
yeah.
we've got trotlines everywhere. I mean,
Planet
yeah.
Trotline.
Really?
You'd have never known.
If you couldn't guess, that's the name of our boat, right? Everything. And then and one of the things about this piece of property too is they'll come in and actually, to help repopulate the state, they come in and mark the nests,
Yeah.
right? And then go into the nest, pull the eggs out. Then they'll put them in an incubator and hatch them to help repopulate the remainder of the state as well too.
Just what you
This-
need.
yeah. And we started. Yeah, exactly. We need more, right? But we started Baxter? We probably started 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah, I went maybe, it was probably 20 years ago
Oh, yeah,
one
for
time.
your first, yeah.
But then not until maybe 12, 13 years ago we
Yeah.
started going full time.
All right, y'all got to get closer to this mic.
Yeah.
So now, obviously, if you've never done this before, how do you learn to do something like this? Right? What's what's the process of that?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you how we got taught from a gentleman who used to be the caretaker for the property. His name was Henry Sauce. Great human being, right? And he took us out.
Great dude.
Great guy.
We called him Sauce Piquant.
Yeah. That was
Sauce
good.
pecan.
That was
Yeah.
good.
And he took us out and showed us the ropes, right? Kind of teaching us everything. And actually, the very first alligator we got, which was back in Lake Williams. Actually, Baxter, you probably want to talk about that one, considering
man.
he did teach us one thing, right, on the very first alligator we ever got, which is do not shoot in the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a smart move.
Yeah.
We pulled this gator in on a line. It was about a 7.5, 8 footer. So good size out there. Not
Oh,
a
yeah.
monster, but still
Yeah.
solid. And
Whole lot of teeth and a bad attitude.
definitely, no doubt. And so I shoot him. He's out, completely done. Eyes closed. Pull him in the boat, and he comes alive, just completely, not just twitching, but walking, getting up and cruising at me. And so I get the gun. I'm about to shoot, and Henry saw us in the boat next door. And he goes, "Don't shoot in the boat.
Don't shoot in the boat.
Shoot a hole through your boat." Like, this is self-defense at this point.
Yeah.
So ended up, I had a screwdriver and a fire extinguisher. Just the most barbaric thing in my life. Just smashing the screwdriver to the head. Just chunks of alligator on my face. And it was savage.
I can tell you, we would when we sat there, the alligators we brought in, and I'm looking at this, and those eyes, like they twitch, or there's it. He's not dead. No, he's not dead. There's not. Nope. That one's not dead. Try again.
All right.
But all right. So now you get into this with Henry, and obviously you liked it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what's not to like, right? But that's a lot harder work than I think anybody really, really sees.
I mean, getting that gator in the boat,
That's
just
like,
that, you know?
Oh my God.
Look, I think obviously people watch Swamp People, right?
Right.
I don't know how one person gets those alligators in a boat by themselves. That's just not going to happen. I mean,
Right.
no.
See guys like Troy Landry you met yesterday.
Yeah.
From Swamp People, and he's probably like 65.
Yeah.
He's pulling in 30 gators a day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And they're doing it. And they're doing it for 30 days, right?
Oh, yeah.
We've been 4 days into this? And just
Exhausted.
Yeah.
This is exhausting. Yeah, and I don't know. We'd get done. Benny's over. I'd sit there and he'd go into his room, and I'd head over. Next thing you know, I'm on the couch and I'm like, oh, watch some football. Done.
I think I took like 4 or 5 cold showers this weekend.
Yeah.
Just to see.
Oh yeah,
God,
every
damn.
day. It's like every time you go outside, and thankfully the weather's been pretty cooperative this
Well,
weekend.
yeah.
It
Oh,
hasn't
Not too
been
bad.
too crazy, but
It's
it
not-
gets hot out there on that
It's
boat
hot.
when you're
It's
fighting a
hot.
gator in the direct sunlight. It gets warm.
Brutal.
It gets hot, and you get these weird sunburns. I remember I looked over.
Yeah.
Right? We were just right where our shorts were, and then we had our boots, and right in between our kneecaps were burned.
Yeah, I say it's like the size of my hand, just on the top of my knee is sunburnt. I don't know how the hell that happened. but
Planet Trotline, the Planet Trotline sunburn,
Yeah,
right?
it's our tanning bed.
Probably need to work on that.
Yeah.
No, so so obviously, we get in there and I'm super proud of Benny first because, Benny's not a big spider guy. And somebody decided to immersion therapy.
Yeah.
yeah, what happened that day, Baxter?
So I saw the big old banana spider, and they look scary, but they're not poisonous. And I knew you were scared of spiders, so I went to grab
Well,
it.
hold on, wait.
I mean, a big
This
old,
big.
the size of my palm, monster. And I meant to. The plan was I was going to grab it and kind of gently toss it in your general direction. And I know I'm not scared of them because they're not poisonous. As soon as I grabbed it, I got so freaked out. Like, get this out of my hand! And I tossed it way too hard. Kind of hit Benny in the mouth.
Tossed is an understatement.
Yeah, it was more of a fastball.
That was a fastball coming in hot. Yeah. Nolan Ryan would have been proud of that one. I guarantee you, man.
Yeah, him and Mikey went from giggling like schoolgirls on the bow of the boat to all of a sudden Baxter's a freaking MLB pitcher turning around for the curveball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
funny.
God.
I didn't know how scared I was of it. Until I grabbed it in my hand. Yep.
We've had times where, because you got to think with the, when you're hunting alligators, right, you've got your, kind of a tree laying over the water, you're hanging your line from it, and then you got a big chicken hanging from the hook, and the alligator comes up out of the water to get it. Well, we had one time where we had 3 or 4 alligators in the front of the boat, cut the motor to cruise in on the line, and then not realize there's a big banana spider nest, and we're all lying on our back. We got 3 adults lying on top of dead alligators, looking up at a spider, going,
This is not a good plan.
Right.
It all went wrong.
Yeah.
That happened to us last night. We were taking the the chicken off the hooks, and everyone's packing up, so we're taking the bait off and getting the hooks taken care of, and we're pulling up into it. Wes is driving. I jump up on the bow to grab that chicken off, and I turn, and there's a banana spider. It couldn't have been 6 inches from my face, and I damn near dropped. I was like, Wes, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up,
Please.
back up.
This is not fun.
We ended up rolled up on a big old wolf spider last year.
No.
West-
Now,
right next to
I don't mind
Coast.
spiders. I do mind wolf spiders.
Those are nasty.
Not
beasts.
okay. Yeah.
That's a couple inches from. He goes, "This is worst case scenario."
Oh God, yeah, yeah. Those are wicked looking spiders. I mean, tarantulas, like they're like miniaturized tarantulas. Oh no, no. So, all right. So you forge through. You've learned, from Henry. You've decided that you're gonna run trot lines everywhere in this, beautiful property, and you're catching alligators. And then once you catch them, what do you do with them?
So you shoot them, get them in the boat, right? You have to put a tag in them. So, in the state of Louisiana, you get a tag. So think of a little tag that's, about probably 8 inches long or so, and you have to put that tag through the alligator.
Right.
And so once you get it tagged, it's legal.
Right.
Right. You take it back. This year we've been fortunate because you all brought a big truck. Normally we're piecemealing together some sort of vehicle, right? Something, because our wives do not want them on top of the vehicles or in the vehicle.
Yeah,
When we first started doing this, maybe 12, 13 years ago. This one time I had an old Honda Accord, 1994.
Oh no!
I had it stacked on the roof. Of the car. Just holding them like this.
Just dropping down the road like that. Yeah. So you guys are catching us after years of trial and error.
I
right?
got you.
Because-
Yeah, I'm thinking, alligators on the roof.
I like it.
I like it.
We should have done that.
I'm okay
that
with
sounds a lot more fun than throwing them in the bed of a truck.
Yeah.
So,
Damn.
all right. So now we're hauling them out, and the tags. Now you only get so many tags because you're a landowner, or you apply for them and you get these tags, right?
That's right.
And
Certain number of tags per acre of swamp versus lake versus freshwater marsh, saltwater marsh.
okay,
Yeah.
so it's a legit conservation effort that
Oh,
they
yeah.
go through to get this done.
Oh, it's a well-oiled machine. I mean, once those tags go in,
Right.
right? Because those tags, for example, the ones we sold yesterday over at Duffy's, those tags will follow that skin around. We still, I mean, it's a well-oiled machine in tracking alligators in the state of Louisiana. It's one thing that the state of Louisiana does real well, right?
And repopulate with
exactly, exactly.
In fact, you get a skin tanned and you get the skin back, still got the tag in there.
this. Right. No way.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool.
On sale right there.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah, because apparently, maybe in the 50s or 60s, the population was just decimated.
Yeah.
But there's no
Something like
shortage
a couple
of them now.
thousand or something.
Yeah,
And now it's
I
up to 4 million.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Whoa.
I think the
Holy
population
smokes.
of people and alligators is about equal in Louisiana.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a little terrifying.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
and
sure.
you got to think for every one you see, there's a lot more you didn't see.
Right?
Right.
And we saw a lot.
And we saw a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. So now we get them out, and you've got them tagged. We get them out, get them cooled. That we found out that that's pretty important.
Right.
And then now we've got them cooled off, and you've basically filled all of your landowner tags, and you've got to go sell them.
Right.
I didn't realize just how much of an event that was.
Yeah.
That's a legit event, right? So tell us about that.
We went on a good day, too, on a Sunday, and
Oh yeah.
big crowd there.
Yeah. It
Pretty
was.
solid.
Yeah, there's a place. So we actually used to sell our alligators, just a place right down the street from camp. And then they stopped doing alligators. And so now in Pierre Par, right, where the folks from Swamp People, Troy, Jacob Lander, that group, they have a place called Duffy. So on the front end of it, it's a gas station.
Yeah.
And in the back, it's a big freezer to bring your gators. And so we've lucked out the past 2 years because it's kind of anticlimactic, when you get done hunting alligators because you're so exhausted.
Yes.
And then you have to drive them somewhere.
Right.
And then you just sell them and, it's done. But now at Duffy's, there's, 40, 50 people there. Right?
Yes.
All taking pictures. You feel like a rock star pulling up, right?
Oh,
Where you're
yeah.
Like, all right.
You
there's
drop
a
the
crowd.
tailgate on the truck and everybody's looking,
Yeah.
and then you got a stack of alligators, and it's like, don't pay attention to the two 13, 14-foot alligators
Right.
on the forklift over there.
Yeah.
And those things were monsters.
Yeah,
Those
they were
were
big
studs
ones.
right there.
Yeah. So, well, I didn't get the story on those alligators. Were those Troy's alligators or were they somebody else's alligators?
I think they were Troy's.
Yeah.
I know his boat was there.
I think he took some guests out and they were taking some photos with
Yeah.
Oof.
trophies.
Oof.
But those were
That's-
monsters.
Yeah.
Those were.
Those were big ones.
I don't know how. Again, I don't know how you get those in the boat. I don't get that. No.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the craziest thing was. We were talking to the one guy at Duffy's yesterday about that crane that's on the side of his boat, and he's like, "Hell, Troy doesn't ever even use it."
You go, oh, he uses that for crabbing.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, he uses that for pulling crab pots."
Crab.
No way.
We're like, "What? He doesn't use that for the 300-pound gator they just pull?" Nah, they just grab it and roll it up into the boat.
Yeah, because I mean that 9 foot. What was our 9'8", 9'9"?
yeah.
Yeah.
That one it took. We had two boats.
Oh yeah.
Five.
And
Yeah,
like
two
four
boats, 5
people.
people,
Yeah.
and hooks, and yeah,
Jesus.
it was wild.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And that dude just they make it look easy. Something's
Right.
not right. They got a secret somewhere. They're
Yeah.
not telling us.
Yeah.
They're
Our
not
big
telling us.
ones are probably 250, 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And real big ones, they pull in, 500, 600. I
Yeah.
mean, the real big ones, probably 800,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the first time that we got a big one, it was actually where we got our the biggest one yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And that
that's
one,
right.
that was what 11'1", 11'2".
11.3, I think.
Oh my
11.3.
god!
And that
How
was-
did that
But
go?
that thing was twice as wide as the big ones we got
Yeah.
yesterday, just because that extra foot and a half,
Oh, we had an outboard gator too, right? So we you guys are coming in after we've got years of failed attempts of like boats breaking down.
We heard
right?
about
Like,
that.
all
Yeah.
of that.
Your wife was telling me about that.
Oh yeah, we're normally before we get on the water, we got 3 hours of messing with boats.
that was the whole boat, the Flying Ronnie.
Yeah.
And it's a 14-foot flat bottom,
Yeah.
beat up as hell, holes
The
in it.
Flying Ronnie.
Flying
Nice.
Yeah.
I've heard some of the best names on the planet all weekend,
Yeah.
from Cotton Candy Randy all the way through. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right. So now, and we go over yesterday, and I think, met with Troy, and it's not just Troy, but everybody here are the nicest people on the planet. They would give you the shirt off their back. Troy especially, but I mean, my goodness, some of the nicest people. We went over to the Pierre Part store,
Yep.
the hardware store and grocery store all in one. And people there were super nice. And I'm like, I need this and I need this. And fortunately, Benny's like, no. Your wife is going to kill you. Your wife will kill you. Your wife will kill you. Let's go.
Yeah.
But the people here are just absolutely amazing. And, you get into them and people were, oh man, those are great. This is awesome. Let me tell you about the time that I got bit by an alligator. And I'm like, what? And the guy's like, yeah, one of those big alligators up there came back to life. Same deal
Oh,
in the
man.
boat. And he goes, and I got bit. And I'm like,
Dude.
and so Troy gave him a hat.
Yeah.
Like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
So now let's kind of get back to some other
I'm
stuff
gonna
too.
knock on some wood right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cypress, it's good
Yeah.
wood, I promise. So now y'all were y'all took us out. I realized just how hard this is. I realized what happens when you have little bitch mittens.
Yeah.
And the line decides to go slinging through your fingers. All in all, this was an absolute 100% just lifetime experience. And people need to. I want to be selfish, but I can't be. People need to experience this at least
Yeah.
once in their life.
Oh, yeah.
Picking up an alligator
There's
that may or
nothing
may
more
not be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taping his mouth shut and trying to get all that done. I tell you, Benny turned into a boss though. Right at the, he'd get him
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Oh,
Dude,
this dude's a natural for sure.
that
Yeah.
that 9.3 yesterday, when we were like, oh, yeah, there's one on the line, but I think it might be a small one. And I'm like, oh, okay. I like start pulling the line up, and I'm like watching the grass and everything move with it. I'm like, oh, the hook just fell and it's in the grass. And then I see the tail swirl, and I'm like, oh, no, there's a gator on it. And then his head breaks the surface staring at us. I was like, oh, my God, we're gonna die. This is it. This is how I die.
It's like a T-Rex coming
Yeah.
out.
Right.
It's, oh, my God, it's insane.
I was trying so hard because the kids were in the boat, not to scare anybody, but like in the most nonchalant way. Forrest is over there too, and it's like total nonchalant. But I'm like, hey, we're on ground, Benny. Like we're on the ground,
Yeah.
and he's on the ground too. He's so you might want to think about that.
Look, they can't jump high, right?
Yeah, that one yesterday, I don't know if it was more so the size, but like I could tell when he was swirling because he was swimming versus when he got his tail and stuff down on that dirt and that mud on the bottom. They got some serious power when they got some ground behind them. Oh my God!
The tails are just thick and powerful.
God,
We had that same spot one year, because it looks kind of like a dirty, like bad spot, right? But I mean, this is probably was one of our cousin Frank. This is probably 4 or 5 years ago. They had a group of people, and we had multiple boats that year, and they pulled up on it, and it was all mangled up because like they'll roll around. Sometimes they'll sink themselves, and you just can't get to them. And they got up in there, they couldn't see an alligator, so they started and the mosquitoes were just mauling them. And so we were like, just cut the line, let's just kind of pull it out. They got through, started cutting all the line, to just start pulling on it, and there was a 12-foot alligator on there.
Oh, God.
They had to hurry up and tie back onto it.
Oh, dear God.
Because they just couldn't see it.
Oh, my God.
And that was that was the world record at the time.
Yeah, that was our
Planet Trotline world
Planet
record,
Right.
Trotline.
We see. Well, y'all set world records a lot
Oh,
around
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
We found this out.
Every trip out here, we said
We shattered them.
So, and it's,
Speaking of world records, that catfish.
oh yes. So
Was that Planet Trotline's first kill with the prop?
Yeah, it might be.
Was that the boat's
Yeah.
first kill?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
oh yeah, that's a
place,
world
too.
record.
Yeah, it was.
100%.
And that's the biggest
Yeah.
catfish we've had on that boat.
Dude, it was huge.
So,
It was massive.
Monster blue cat.
Oh my God.
so it was
Yeah.
you, your wife. Were you on the boat as well? Yeah. So y'all three on the boat, and me and Benny on the other boat, right? And we're behind y'all, and you're coming into the lake, right?
Right.
And the way you kind of put it was, it's like when you kind of start coming into the lake area, and further down when you get down to like Lake Natchez and stuff, it's like going through the jungle.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
100%
yeah, yeah.
like
I feel like you're in the tropics.
exactly. You got like sawgrass here, like way above you, and you're this cut through, and it's really cool. So y'all are y'all's boat's up there, and you're coming in, and you make the right now. What happens on your boat? And I'll tell you what happens on ours.
Yeah. So because I'm slowing the boat down, and we just hear this thump, and I can feel the prop, just boom, a little bit of movement, and we just think it's a stick. And my wife Emily, she's like, hey, I hope it was an alligator, got it. But it was so subtle, right?
Yeah.
And then we pull into the lake, take off a little bit, and then we don't see you all. And so we're like, oh, maybe they just, not aware of how to pull into the lake, and so we go to turn around. And then as we turn around and pull it up, you've got Mike's got a big net with what looks like a pig in it. And pull it up, and we're like, what in the world? I'm like, we didn't set any trot lines over there. Like, how in the world they got it?
So we're coming around, and Benny's driving. I'm sitting, passenger here, and we come around, and I just see this silver swirl, and Benny's like, I think that's a cat.
I'm looking at it, I'm like, dude, there's a catfish floating down the river. Like, we'll see it up in Maryland and stuff, and Virginia, where they just die and they'll be, floating down the river. I'm like, wow, there's a catfish floating down the river. We're getting closer to it. I'm like, dude, that doesn't look like it's been dead very long. Like, it doesn't look all bloated and weird. And of course, I'm red-green colorblind, so I can't tell that the swirl of blood in the water is blood. I thought it was just like moss, like a chunk of grass moving down the river with it. So I'm like, damn, I guess it choked itself out on like some moss or something and died. And I'm like, Mike, that doesn't look like it's been dead that long. Like, let's grab that thing. And as soon as the net hit the water and the like blood in the water started to swirl different, I was like, oh, that's blood. That thing just died.
It just died.
Yeah.
He's
Like,
still
it is-
bleeding.
Yeah, like it's, gills are still moving and stuff. And we pull it in and it just gashed down the
Straight
center
down
of
the
its head.
center of the head.
We're like, whoa.
So we come in and we had the net, right? We had the net, and that's like the ongoing saga this week. This weekend has been, all right. We have an alligator, but we don't have a gun. Forrest is sitting there. We don't have a gun. We or hey, we don't have any tape.
Yeah.
That was not smart. Trying to we get this alligator. All right, great. We don't have any tape. So Forrest tosses the tape. Right, perfect. Hits me right in the numbers. I had gloves on. I couldn't feel anything. Poof. And then I'm like, oh, there it is. I can get it. And I'm reaching and I'm trying to reach over there, and then and I'm like hanging off the boat, and then I'm realizing I'm like, this is the dumbest thing on the planet. This is not okay.
You're just
Let's
chub in the water
absolutely.
with your doggy paddle.
Yeah, let's see how this works. Nope. And it clicked. I'm slow. I get it, but it clicked, and I'm like, yeah, no. Let that sink. I'll buy more.
Yeah.
We forget to bring tape pretty much every year.
Every year.
Or when we do when we buy tape, we don't bring it.
And the tape.
Well,
the
to be
tape-
fair, we had it on the boat.
We just
We just
know
didn't
it.
remember that we had put it in the boat. So we're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
shit, we're out of tape, I guess.
In fact, had, like,
And then we get
12
back to the-
rolls of electrical tape.
Yeah, we get back to the house and we're like, dude, what happened to that pack of tape we bought? Like, we bought a whole log of electrical tape.
Yeah.
And then Wes finds it underneath the console on the boat, and we're like, oh, so we had it the
Yeah.
entire time. That's great.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good to know.
Yeah, first rule of alligator hunting is don't hand it to Wes.
Lesson number one.
We had string everywhere. I'm looking at him, I'm like, am I losing my mind?
Right? We lost the string. We lost the tape. It's nuts. So now we get this catfish in, right? And obviously the salted pecan guy decides, Bax, you were kind enough to fillet. Did you fillet it or did you fillet? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, Baxter's the master.
Yeah. So that thing, how much do you suppose that catfish weighed?
30 pounds probably.
30?
I saw it was every bit
Yeah.
of 25, 30 pounds.
Yeah, it was
It was a nice blue.
And then
the meat was probably
oh
12
man,
pounds of meat.
easy,
Mhm.
Yeah.
easy. And it wasn't like most of the time you get like big catfish, the meat's like, ugh. That was delicious.
Oh,
That was
Oh, yeah.
the
clean, smooth
best.
meat.
That was the best catfish I think I've ever eaten in my life, hands down. I eat a lot of damn catfish. But we're sitting there, you fillet this catfish up, and I wasn't really paying a whole lot of attention. And next thing you know, there's catfish fritters, or this, sitting like right in front of me. And I mean, we mixed up the sauce, and everything,
That
but
came out good, man.
oh my God, that was like it was like twice fried freaking catfish or something. It was so good. So that's the other thing that I noticed around here is y'all eat well,
Oh, yeah.
really
Yeah.
well. I mean, like not a little bit,
Yeah.
really, really well. And Benny, what was your favorite meal?
That sauce pecan was amazing.
Dude, it was slamming.
Oh my God, it was good. And I was telling you guys the other night, I really don't like really spicy foods. Like normally I'll kind of stay away from real spicy stuff.
Mhm.
And I try there's just so much more flavor with it. It's not just like all it is hot.
Right, not
There's
just
so
the
many
meat,
other
it's-
flavors and stuff going on in it. And then at the end you're like, whoa, that's hot. But God, it was good. I ate it the next morning for breakfast. I put a little
right.
bit over my eggs, and I ate it last night for dinner. And oh God, it's good.
Yeah, I warned you
Yeah,
all that
yeah, 2
Baxter
or
knew
3
how to cook.
leftovers.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
the
Oh,
night
yeah.
before, I was like, Baxter's, he knows
Oh,
what he's
yeah.
up to.
Yeah, we
I mean, it might not be ready till midnight,
but
but it's gonna be
it's,
good.
but it's good.
That's
It is
right.
damn good.
Yeah, we found
I'm
ourselves
kind of infamous for that.
where we find ourselves eating frog legs at 4 a.m.
Oh man,
Like sometimes Baxter and I will be out here, right, and Forrest, we'll have a mess of frog legs, and we'll actually have to put a timer on ourselves, like a time constraint on us, because it'll be 3 hours later, right? We haven't even got it in the fryer yet.
Oh yeah,
We make it a competition. It kind of motivates us to pump it out.
yeah. So obviously introduced Benny to his first legit Cajun food, and I think the heat will come along. You'll get used to the heat after a little while. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
Hey, I still ate the shit out of it.
Oh, you did.
Face red, nose running, eyes watering, but I was eating the hell out of it.
And then what else did we had some other really, really good food this weekend. The pot roast was delicious. Everything's so good, but now obviously we're getting ready to go home. It kind of sucks, got to drop Benny off at the airport, and then
last day is a bummer.
it is. It really, really sucks. It's like, man, I don't really want to go home. I really like it here. But that kind of is a testament to what you have going on. I've had a wonderful, wonderful time here so far, and your wife invited us back, so we will be back for sure. But aside from that, we talked about the food. We talked about this place and how things. Y'all are also deer hunters as well. You'll all come out duck and deer hunt here as well, right?
Yep.
And y'all have some monster freaking bucks on this property. I've seen some cameras. And we won't tell anybody exactly where this place is at. So what's you get out there and what time do you get more like amped up for the alligators? You get more amped up for the deer or the duck, or what's your passion when it comes to
It's such a short season, so you can't help but get amped up.
Right. Yeah.
It's so concentrated.
Yeah.
And we like taking what gets to one of the best parts about the alligators hunting season is taking people that haven't gone before.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because we know the drill.
Yeah.
So when you get people that haven't gone before, especially people like you all that are passionate about the outdoors,
Oh yeah.
makes it that much better.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's it's kind of the idea behind this podcast is teaching people about getting outside, go do something, whether it's fishing or hunting or whatever. So
It's the kind of hunt where it's necessarily a group activity.
Yeah.
So you still have to
It's
get a
social.
lot of people
Yeah.
participating, right.
Because like deer hunting, the wives, the family, because they don't come out as much for that, because we're out all day. And,
right.
So this is a much more social event, right? So we'll have times where,
Yes. Yes.
we had probably last year maybe 20 or 30 people down here.
Yeah.
Just having a blast.
Well,
Deer hunting, I'll take my daughter out and she'll 10 minutes in, Daddy, this is so boring.
I'm pretty sure there's an alligator somewhere that's got my name on it. So, and that's the next generation. I mean, y'all are teaching and training, and you had your kid, you had one of your daughters and her friend out.
She got one this year too.
She got her first alligator this year, which was super cool.
Well, it was her second actually.
Oh, second.
She got her
Okay,
first when
all right.
she was 8.
Yeah. She was. That was a picture in Louisiana Sportsman. She had the gator on her
Yeah,
shoulders.
photo of the month. I gotta show y'all that.
That's cool as hell.
So, and y'all are kind of regulars on the Louisiana Sportsman.
Yeah,
I mean, y'all are kind of regulars there.
Yeah, that 11. What was that? 11'2", 11'3" we got.
That was in there.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was in there. We've got his wife and daughter. Had photos in there. We
Right.
had Emily, my wife, caught about 165-pound yellowfin tuna.
Right.
That was in there, and then the bass pond. And this is not Louisiana. This was actually Louisiana Life.
Right. Yeah.
Right, and we were in New Orleans at the grocery store, and Emily looks down, and there's there's on the front of Louisiana Life a picture that Emily took of the bass pond, and then a big spread out, in the middle of like some barred owls of just this property.
It's gorgeous.
I mean,
That's awesome.
South Louisiana is just unbelievably.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. You can't explain this to anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you can try, but it doesn't work.
Right.
I mean, people think of swamps or just it being, I don't know. They don't think of what it is until it's
Right.
there.
And
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
and there's
All right, that's going.
That's cool as hell.
Shoulder.
We're gonna put that one up for sure.
Yeah.
Can you send that one to us? Because that's
sure.
that's
That's
she's-
awesome.
Yeah.
She doesn't play around though. That little girl is tough as nails, man. She is super competitive. So
Oh yeah.
I thought that was really cool. So now we're, obviously, we've got a lot of stuff going on. You've got kids. Your two kids have been here, and your son's like all in, right?
Oh yeah, Percy. He talks about coming up here for this weekend all year. We'll be in the bath at home, and he's like, "I'm with Baxter. Baxter's driving the boat. Wes is not driving the boat." Yeah, his fantasies when he's at home, he dreams of coming up here and just getting out on the water. He loves fishing. He calls them whales because
Yeah.
they're twice the size of him sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And his eyes just light up whenever I'm like, "You want to go on the boat?" Yeah, let's go. Get my boots. Yeah, he loves it.
And he had a birthday up here.
Yeah, his birthday is September 1st, and I've been lucky enough. We met Baxter. We just moved in next to him. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, so I don't know anything about any of this.
This is
down
all
here.
foreign.
Yeah, right. And just living next to him, I got the invite one year to come up duck hunting. Like, hey man, you want to come up? I'm like, yeah, I'll try it out. And then have gotten successive invites. And so last year, Percy's second birthday was his first time up here.
Right.
And he just he talks about it all the time. He wants to come up here. He wants to come here for vacation. I'm like, let's go to the beach. He's like, no, let's go to Bayou Pigeon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. In a heartbeat. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm right there with him.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is the greatest place ever. So,
And he's taken to it so well, he's become a member of Planet Trotline at this point.
there you go. He graduated.
Yeah.
Well, he's celebrated what 60%, 66% of his birthdays out here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, hey,
You can't
Two,
go wrong.
two out of three.
Right. And so then obviously you've got your little one too, right? And she's like next generation.
Yeah.
She's going to be in that boat before too long.
Yeah, man. She actually both of them this year decided that they're so comfortable out on the property that they fell asleep.
Yeah. While they're fishing,
Right? Yeah. Percy fell asleep on the boat the first time he went out this weekend, and then Lily both mornings as we're just driving around looking at the property, just scoping animals and looking at barred owls flying around and stuff. She just bouncing and then conks out.
Yeah,
It's comfortable.
Sometimes you can watch Benny do the same thing on the podcast. He's like,
nah,
yeah.
dude, I'm just dreaming of next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It really is crazy. I was trying to explain it to my dad yesterday, and like some of the high 6, low 7 footers, the 8 footers is like, oh, I got a little adrenaline in me. Like, that was fun. That 9.3 yesterday, oh my God, we got that thing in the boat. It's finally taped off
Yeah.
and tied up to the gunnel, and got the seat taken down and sat back down on the bow of the boat, and I'm just shaking. I'm just,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm like,
100% adrenaline dump.
oh God, there it is. I was like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, it's like I tell people it's like biologic and physiologically. It's like you take everything that your body produces, adrenaline, cortisol, whatever, in there,
Yep.
throw it in a blender and chug it.
Yeah.
Right? And then that's what happens. And then
Hell yeah.
usually it's you got fight and flight, where from
Yep.
your fight from basically the torso up and flight from the waist down. Like yesterday, I remember every single time I'd shoot one.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I've done this so many times, and my legs are still shaking.
Oh yeah.
Never get fully used to it.
No.
Nah.
I don't think that if you did, I mean, you wouldn't do this anymore.
Right.
I mean, I couldn't. I mean, you think about it, like Troy Landry. I heard him over talking. Talking with a couple of folks there, and they asked him, they're like, do you still get excited? He goes, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah. Is that not? If I don't, I'm not gonna do this. He's, oh yeah. Okay, I have no idea what you just said, but I'm pretty sure. No, he's same way. He's like, yeah, this is, this is all in.
It doesn't get old.
God no.
No, I don't see how it could.
Doesn't get old.
Dinosaur come up out of the water at you, and you're holding on to it with a piece of string.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't get much better than that.
No.
Yeah, and all the wild sounds you hear out there. So
Dude.
just the swamp comes alive.
Yeah.
If like you're hunting in other places
Whole
around the
nother
country,
world.
the planet. You go out into the woods and you have to wait an hour before you hear a squirrel drop a nut.
No.
And out here, you just cut the motor.
And then
and
it's
I mean, yesterday we heard something that sounded like a donkey getting eaten by
Yeah.
a donkey getting eaten by an alligator. Remember that?
Dear God.
It was
I had
like,
no
what in
idea
the
what it was.
world
We
was
just-
that?
Really?
There's no donkeys out here.
And if there was, now
There's
there's not.
not. Selection process. That's all. He was a tasty morsel for something.
Yeah.
And the birds. Holy smokes. Y'all have
Yeah.
some really, really cool birds. We've seen Benny's favorite bird on the planet that he loves coots. We've seen teal. We've seen wood ducks. We've seen egrets, cormorants. What else?
That
The
spoonbill.
rose spoonbill.
Looks
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Looks like a Cajun version of a flamingo.
Yeah.
That's what Emily called it yesterday. We saw it in the pond, and she goes, "Oh, it's a Cajun flamingo."
Yeah.
That-
We saw one up close yesterday too.
Yeah.
Those are so cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll see sometimes. We'll see bald eagles.
Yeah.
There we saw one year we had a deer that deer hunting season, and I'd never even heard of a golden eagle before. Didn't even know they existed.
Yeah.
And we'd put the carcass of the deer in the swamp, and I'm driving the golf cart and I look up and I see two bald eagles really, really high. I'm like, oh, they must be looking for that carcass, and then I catch in my peripheral vision, big golden
yeah.
eagle, and I had no clue what it was.
Yeah.
I called Henry. Henry was still with us at the time, and I called him. I was like, "Man, I think I saw a dinosaur."
The pterodactyl.
I took off. It scared me, and he was like, "No, that's a golden eagle." I'm like, "Whoa,
man.
But they've, you see all kinds of just ducks out here. I mean, they used to. They don't do it anymore, but LSU students used to come out. Their graduate students would come out here and do crawfish and waterfowl studies for their school.
There's so many. I'd like to see this place with like the crawfish ponds like flooded.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what that looks like.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
got to be
The
so cool.
place transforms in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Everything's flooded, and the leaves are gone. It's just like this. It's a different world out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
no-
got to be so
And the
cool.
birds out here in the winter when the fields are flooded. I mean,
I can only
Oh,
imagine
yeah.
that
thousands of ibis.
because you've got rice in there,
Massive
you've got
flocks.
Milo in there.
Mhm.
You've got it all kind of going, right?
Yeah.
So,
And like every trap, so because the crawfish traps will stick out a little bit out of the top of the water, and almost on top of every trap is a bird. So you're just thousands of them.
well, and this is the other thing I thought was really cool. Kind of. So I showed up. I meant to tell you this. I show up here and you weren't here yet, right?
Mhm.
And I get here and you sent me a text. Oh, you'll meet Carl. Okay. And I pull up and this guy's looking at me, and he goes, "Are you lost?" I was like, "No, sir." I said, "Wes told me to come down here," and he said, "That Wes guy. He taught me everything I know about trotline fishing." That's a joke, Carl. Don't come after me.
Yeah.
But
Carl's great.
I met Carl, and that guy is just amazing. He's one of the another nicest people on the planet,
Mhm.
and a wealth of knowledge. Not real sure about corn and diesel fuel, but that's a different for a different time.
Yeah.
Carl's a jokester too. He's just a funny dude. And one time, one of my favorite things he said, Wes and I pulled in from the boat after trotline and got a nice big, probably 15, 20-pound
Yeah.
cat. Carl pumped up. "Carl, check this out." He rolled up in the golf cart. "Check this out, Carl." And goes, "Oh, it's a nice fish. They got big ones in there too."
I like that.
Yeah.
Didn't skip a beat though, did he?
Yeah.
That guy's amazing. And what's cool is like I've seen him 3 or 4 times around the property, while we've been here, and the guy's never not smiling. He's never not happy, and it's kind of I think it's a testament to this place,
Yeah.
and the people that he's around and what he does, and it's funny because I was talking to him, I was talking to my wife the other day, and she goes, "You really like this, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah," and she goes, "How bad is it when you leave? Like your face is gonna like not smile."
Yeah.
She goes, "You've been smiling the whole weekend, haven't you?" I said, "I can't stop." So maybe not when that alligator kind of came in. There was like, then there was a smile, But this place is exceptional. I
Yeah.
mean, it truly is. People, the plate, the food, the everything. You is just truly one of a kind.
Yeah,
So
and we lucked out with the mosquitoes this year. Normally we have to have like a transfusion because the mosquitoes just destroy you. But I mean, this has been the best year for like to not have mosquitoes.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know
but
what
yeah.
it
we lucked
is.
out.
So Benny, I got to ask you, What's your favorite part?
All of it. There is no like one favorite part.
Yeah.
It's just the whole. I mean, it's really just like an experience
Right.
of everything between the checking the trot lines and the straight lines and pulling up a freaking alligator. I mean, there's something just fucking primal about it.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. When you're
Yeah.
fighting a dinosaur with a piece of fucking string.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is cool as shit.
Yeah. And we got
And then-
11 of them, right?
Yeah, so we did it
Yeah, we
11
did.
times.
Yeah, we did.
And then all the way back here to the people we're hanging out with at camp, the food we're eating at camp. It's just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's fucking badass.
And I mean, y'all call this camp. This is not a camp. This is not a camp at all. Well, let me back that up. If you ever go hunting with me and I say it's a camp, it's not this at all. You should probably pack like a sleeping bag, and we're okay with that.
Yeah, it's fun when like you've had people come out here for their first time, you know, and like, hey, it's a camp, and so they'll be like, hey, should I bring lantern, sleeping bag, like all this, like, yeah, I mean, you can if you want, like you'll be all right. Hey, and
You'll never use it.
They'll come wheeling in, right, with a car packed full of stuff to the brim. And, of course, as you're coming to the property before you get to the cul-de-sac, right, all the camps on the right and the left are what you have in your head of what a camp is.
Yeah,
so the whole time
100%.
they're like, man, thank God I brought this. And, hope there's an air conditioner. And then pull up here and like, oh.
This is
So then you step out, load your stuff on the elevator, and have
Right.
it take it upstairs for you.
Yeah. And it's really cool. I mean, this place is exceptional.
Yeah.
And man, I'm so glad I got to be a part of this year. So,
Absolutely.
how we doing on time, Benny?
I think we're pretty good to wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fellas, so first, social media. Are y'all going to do a Planet Trotline? And it's Trot, Trot, not Trout.
Not Trout.
Planet
Trot.
Trotline.
Y'all going to do like Instagram and all that stuff for Planet Trotline?
Yeah, we'll
We're
get
gonna set it up soon.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
a-
get one going.
That's a question
Yeah.
for the Minister of Propaganda
Yeah,
back there.
That's our minister of propaganda. Of course. So whatever he says is on limits, we'll do.
That's
And
cool.
We'll load it up too with like all the footage because we've had you all, which has been fantastic, right, to be around. But we've got so much more footage this year, to be able to share.
Oh, just wait.
Y'all with y'all's professional equipment, but then just having two boats out there. I mean, you
That
get
was
so
cool.
so many better angles.
That was cool.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think next year we'll have 3 boats.
Even better.
Nice.
We got the invite back, so we might as well be in the boat.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
you're right.
but that was it, top notch, great time. Not anything like what I expected it to be, a whole lot better.
Yeah.
And goodness gracious, man, this has been absolutely amazing. So more to come. You'll do your the Minister of Propaganda is going to get the Instagram and the Facebook and all that stuff going, right? And what else we got going on? Anything? Did you want to give out your personal social media or not so much?
I actually don't have any. So this is
That's
yeah.
greatest
So
question ever.
everything. It's an easy answer on that one, but we'll do it all through Planet Trotline.
All right, that's cool.
Hell
That's
yeah.
really cool. All right, well, fellas, thank you so much again. We appreciate it. Benny, final words.
That's all I got. I'm not going to beat the dead horse
I'm
here,
good at
but
that.
It was
yeah,
awesome, man.
that was awesome. Thanks, guys.
Absolute blast, gentlemen.
All right.
Thank you all for coming.
Right on. We'll see y'all again next year.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
All right, see ya.
You've been listening to The Hunting Quest. No matter how crazy, high-tech, or lazy the rest of the country gets, we will always be hunting and fishing. If that's you, you've found your new family. Thanks for listening to the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. Reach out to us by email at info@thehuntingquest.com. And check us out on Instagram and YouTube at The Hunting Quest. See you next time.